Hello everyone, welcome to Czech Community Call for 10th of January, and let me share my screen is today's agenda. Accordingly to reports Matemos channel, Eclipse 7.41.2 has been released. Thank you, Mikhailo. And today we have two topics for discussion. The first one by Mikhailo. Mikhailo, could you start, please?
Yep, just in time. So, yeah, I guess I'll just say what's in the topic. So basically, there was no demand for hotfix for upstream Eclipse Che, as far as I know, by, let's say, project like management or any other teams. So as the schedule goes, we usually do like one major release at the end of the sprint, which is like 1 week, and then the rest of the 2 weeks we do like one bug fix release as planned. So like next week is 0.1 release, the week after that is 0.2. We initially did this approach to test to make these scheduled regular bug fix releases to test our release framework, so to speak. Now that it works more or less the same without the changes and is as automated as much as possible, I personally have come to an opinion that it's probably not needed to keep doing these scheduled bug fix releases and only do them on demand. So if any like particular team says that this particular bug must be fixed for this particular major version, then they will create a bug fix issue and provide all the necessary fixes, and only then I will start the bug fix flow and we will perform a bug fix release. This will personally allow me to save time on verifying those bug fix releases, because right now they keep coming out no matter what, and we still have to like verify them. It takes some time because some of those checks are still kind of manual. As for the downstream CRW stuff, we only use branches for now. Let's say the CRW 7.40 version. So if the fix is needed for that particular 740 version, as soon as commit goes there, it gets immediately picked up and rebuilt from sources in CRW. So there's no particular need for a particular bug fix release to happen. So my guess is the only time we will need to do a bug fix release is some kind of a security or like breaking changes for upstream, let's say Kubernetes deployments or stuff like that are not really related to downstream stuff. So what do you guys think? Should I stop doing the bug fix releases every week?
I thought the main purpose of bug fix releases is for downstreaming, right?
Now it turns out that we don't need it. Like just that, let's say there's a content in Che server or Che Theia. Like we only need to commit the changes to bug fix branch, but we don't need to publish a release. We don't need to build images with the tag. We don't need to like create tags for that reason, because in CRW the changes are taken directly from the bug fix branch.
But if I'm using chectl, for example, it will install the latest stable release of Che. So in your case, it won't install a new release before 3 weeks, if there are some bug fixes that happened in the 7.x branch.
Yeah, so I guess the question is the community clamoring for these bug fixes? Is anyone actually, testing them? Like, are people actively using JCTL to update every week to these bug fix releases?
As I recall, those bug fix releases schedule was implemented just because we wanted to master the release process, right? So now the release process is much on the track, and I think it makes sense not to do the bug fix releases and do it on demand only. So +1 for that.
Yeah, the only question I have around this is with the npm.js stuff that we publish, because those are being updated every week. And if we stop doing the .1 and the .2 releases, then those won't get updated. So either we need to rebuild those from the .x branch in code-ready workspaces, or we just do those ad hoc if needed, if there's actually a change to the Thea generator. But as far as, the container builds, it kind of comes down to if there's no one in the community that's actively updating to these things and needs them, then we maybe don't need to do them.
Then I have a question. If it's fully automated, then we don't need to care. It should happen every week, so it doesn't consume any time if it's fully automated.
Well, fully automated is a good word, but it really isn't. I guess the biggest time lost comes when we create operator pull requests and we run a number of checks. Sometimes those checks are flaky, so we keep respinning them and trying to figure out whether it's the flakiness of the test or is something actually broke. Then we do the same when we submit community operator PR, so there's less problems with that. Just in general, in my opinion, it doesn't serve purpose to do it like we're doing it right now.
So to ask
Me
it
personally,
in the other direction.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
+1 not to do bug fix release and doing on demand. Because as I remember, basically I don't remember when we actually do some bug fixing, and that bug fixing was downstreamed. I think it was very long ago.
Can we? So I see some benefit anyway on releasing more often. That was not exactly more often releases because we were just releasing the X branch, and that didn't actually match to that. But I'm just wondering, wouldn't be like the opportunity to start trying to do releases every week? So instead of stopping doing the fixed releases, could we just switch, and instead of doing fixed releases, doing the stable releases every week? So I mean, it's the because I perfectly agree with the reason. So it doesn't really serve any purpose. How is it done today? Because we are doing some fixed releases, and nobody's actually. I think that nobody's using that, honestly. So I mean, and there are basically no issues that go in those fixed releases. But if we instead started deploying from main branch, we'll actually get more things. And yeah, just thinking out loud here, if you think that because anyway, nobody should merge anything on main branch. Sorry, on main branch, if it's not ready, if it has bugs, if so the quality is not good enough, and if we think that it can become a problem, we should not merge it in main branch, because any other contributor, if it's in main branch, can just check out the main branch, try to use Che or try to contribute to Che, and will fail because somebody has pushed something that is not good enough for being tested and by some users. So any pull request that emerge in main branch should be good for release, actually. So that being said, I'm thinking, why should we transform something that is not so useful, our weekly fixed releases, in something more useful that would be releasing more often Eclipse Che, so in a weekly cadence?
Well, I guess I'll just say out loud the downsides to more often releases. One is potential QE overload. Well, just in general, first of all, the major release is slightly more taxing, so to speak, than a minor release. It's creating new X branches. It's usually contains some breaking changes, to which QE also has to adapt, like rewrite happy path tests and potentially any other test processes that they have. So,
but that will happen since the changes will be less because it happens every week. So instead of having something after 3 weeks that contains, so you have more changes, that means that and if for some reason something break 1 week, not the end of the world. So it's not just that. So you have so it doesn't change much. I mean, but anyway, so let's can you continue going? So moving forward for that, like the downside, I'm interested about hearing that, but like the QE having too much things to do is like, yeah, they need to do some work every week, but they have less work every week.
well, okay. I guess we could probably discuss in some Slack channel after the call to hear all opinions of all the parties involved.
Maybe we can start discussing in the mail.
Or mail. Although I honestly prefer Slack because it's more real time, so to speak, and I guess it probably could be a back and forth discussion.
Yeah, for me, it sounds like a good idea to release more often. I just think that we need to align it with the product releases then somehow. Because currently we have sort of metrics for releases, and with the new approach, I think we'll need something different.
Well, instead of being one code-ready workspace release for every 2 Che, we would be moving to 1 per 6.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, which is going to look weird, but hey, why not?
Me personally, -1 for this approach, because it's good to have 2 extra weeks to fix something if it's accidentally broken, and releasing every week it might cause in broken releasing more often.
Yeah, but the current trend is release with every commit, right? And if we are continuing, releasing 3 weeks, it's just not something that is trending at this point, right? I know that Operator Hub is not very good with releasing with every commit, for example. So it's just not meant to deliver it in this fashion. But I mean, like releasing every week sounds like relevant. So it could, even if we'll continue like releases of Eclipse on Operator Hub, it's like enough time to proceed with the Operator Hub release.
Yeah, and then the releasing on Operator Hub is kind of something that we would like to stop doing. So maybe we can still continue doing the release on Operator Hub with the same frequency or less frequency, once a month instead of. So it depends. So if we can do that every week, that's perfect. But if we have any problem doing that every week, I would not stop doing the release weekly because of Operator Hub. I mean, we plan to stop releasing on Operator Hub anyway.
I'm just curious, given that we already have the next builds, what would having more frequent releases actually solve? Because if you can already install today's commit without having to wait for next week, like, why do you need an officially released version when you can just grab the current? Like, doesn't JCTL already allow you to go from next to next to next?
Yeah, but that's not the default, right? So if you're a user, you actually get like 3 weeks old things, and you don't. If you ask for a fix, you don't get it until we have the next stable release, unless you want to go on the nightly. But no, not everyone, especially if you have something that run on production, want to go on the nightly one. So what you're proposing is, let's go even further and let's transform the stable in next and next in stable. So like having just next. And yeah, that maybe not, maybe like a step that is too big to do today. So we can just do something in the middle and transform stable in weekly, and then see how it goes. But yeah, it depends on how others, what others think about that.
Yeah, I think we should definitely get some input from community on this one. Because we can guess what people want, but it'd be nice to know what people are actually asking for.
I suggest to start a thread, mail thread, and start discussing there. Mikhailo, what do you think?
Yeah, like I guess it would be important to ask developers, TE, project leads, or managers on their opinion, and like what are the pros of cons of making more releases or making less releases, so that we understand each other.
Yeah, this would be nice. So could you start? Could you write to CHADEV mailing list?
Sure.
Cool, thank you. Any other opinions regarding this topic? If so, we can proceed to the next one. DevOpsSpace article publishing planning update by Elia. Could you start, please?
Yeah. So, folks, we are having the issue for new Eclipse chat blog. Anatoly, maybe you can open
Yeah,
it
sure.
up. So I just wanted to provide an update that originally the contributing for the first time to a project blog article was planned for the 3rd of January, but only today I have addressed all the comments after the PTO. So it's planned to be published tomorrow if there are no objections, so it's already approved. And the rest schedule probably need to be updated accordingly because it might slip a bit. And for our team, we are having also yet another blog post planned. It's about the reviewing pull requests. And I just wanted to double check with Valery about the status of the pull request plugin, because as I understand, plugins team is planning to get rid of the just server based API that is involved in the GitHub pull request plugin. But we checked with David today, and it seems that the plugin sort of works. So I just wanted to figure out what is the plan with overall GitHub pull request plugin for Dev Workspace Engine, because it's kind of works at this point, but maybe there are some, updates planned. Because this plugin is basically a showstopper for the blog article. Unless it works as expected, I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to have this article published.
About GitHub plugin in Jettia, we are going to adopt this plugin to avoid requesting server API, which is used for generating and storing tokens for GitHub operations. So I haven't tested Git pull request plugin, but I think that it may have some problems with DevOpsSpace engine. Just need to double check that.
Okay, thank you. So David, maybe you can shed some light, because David just checked it before the call. So I was wondering, I understand that we need to remove just server API dependencies, but if it will work for some time, then it's not that big problem. So it will work, for example, in 742, and then once you will be ready to get rid of this API, it will just use something different, but will continue to work, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. I should clarify that I haven't meticulously tested it. I was able to install it and look at the settings, open the preferences, and verify that the GitHub pull request plugin settings were there. But yeah, at this point, I didn't meticulously test it for approving pull requests. So yeah, maybe there still are problems with the dev workspaces, but yeah, just wanted to clarify. I need to look into it and make sure that it's it will be working for the approving pull requests blog post, and yeah, just need to look into it a bit more.
There was an issue, so I think that Valery, is there a pull request already about that, or because I saw some activity on GitHub, so comments about that this morning. Is it a pull request? Is it an issue that you're commenting on?
Well, there is no pull request. There is an issue. I'm just looking for it.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe do you have the link for that? Maybe Ilya,
Yeah.
that would be interesting for you to follow the discussion there. And I think that so for clarification for Ilya as well, and others, for any plugins that require access to the Chase server, even if the Chase server API is still there, the problem is that there is no the plugin should not have any notion of the Chase server URL, so it should not have access. So it doesn't know how it could actually contact the Chase server API. That's my understanding, and that's why it should not work. Is that there is no environment variable that where we set the host name of the Chase server.
Yeah, right. So that, like previously, every container of the workspace has some kind of Chase API internal, right? Now it's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No, it's for that particular extension. So we think that it should be fairly. There should be not a lot of work to do. It's just that when you are you log in. So today, if you configure your Che instance to use GitHub for the old flow, at that point, and you try to access to a private GitHub repository, we create a secret with the your GitHub token. And so if that GitHub token, if that secret is there, then every time you create a workspace, you actually have you are able to use the GitHub request plugin. So that is the theory at least. That is how we would like to implement that. So through just a secret that is in the namespace of the users, that is created server side, so that there is no reason to call the Che server API, because the Che server creates the secret with the token, and the extension gets the token from the secret. So that also to say that maybe in the blog post, if that's not already complete, if the feature is not already there, maybe we could just mention that you could manually create the secret today if you want to, but that can be also automatically created and will be automatically created by Che, even if we don't have that that feature yet. So that's just an idea to discuss, maybe to discuss even in the issue that Valerie has provided.
Okay. Yeah, because the one that I think that the one that is interesting is the issue that Floron posted, authentication manual flow. So my understanding that for blog post we can, use a few shortcuts and, document the current state and have the, manual setup documented as part of the blog post, and link it with the issue for automation this. So my point is that we don't want to postpone the blog post till this flow will work like out of the box, right? But to more or less be on the schedule and document the current state for, January, like mid-January, right? With this pull request plugin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for this second issue that is open here, honestly, I'm not sure we need that. I think that we should always have a token of the user. So we should have. So this is the issue that we require.
It's what Floran commented on the issue, I think, at the bottom.
Yeah.
So with this personal access token set up for GitHub.com, everything is supposed to work fine, right?
No, because today CheTI is not reading that secret.
Okay.
And this secret is only created if you try to import from a private GitHub repository. If you are using a public GitHub repository, then Diveboard and Che server are not creating GitHub tokens.
Okay, so because if even manual creation of the secret doesn't work, so for me it sounds like we need to at very least wait till this issue is resolved, right? Because
exactly.
otherwise it will not work, right? So
Correct.
my understanding, we're waiting for this issue to be resolved, and then we, starting working on the blog post for pull requests. Otherwise, it will just not work at all, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's
Okay.
a good approach. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, folks.
Valerie, are you okay with that approach?
Yep. So we can started this issue in the current sprint, fortunately. So we're going to work on this.
Okay, cool. So, and Igor as well. You're so maybe so it's is it clear? So Florent comment and the discussion that we had, is it clear what you need to do?
It is clear, but I still have several questions. So the first one is, what if we don't have this secret? Or we just need to provide some authentication which will tell user what to do to create that secret, or what?
Today, so I mean the idea is in the future is to make sure that we always have, so at least in Che, if you're using Che, Che should always create that the secret.
So it should be expected that the secret with GitHub token is always present in Che.
Yeah, in Che, but maybe somebody just create a dev workspace without Che. So maybe this token is so the secret is not there. So you need to be prepared of it, and if you find, so the only thing I would do is provide a warning message to the user saying we are expecting a secret. It's not there, so it won't work. And with a link to the documentation how to create a secret. I think that would be great. That would be really great. Because then if somebody's using Che, it will work out of the box. If it's not using Che, okay, he has decided to go like the more low level thing, and yeah, he got a warning, but he at least we help him doing some manual steps that will allow him to use workspaces with Chetia and with the GitHub pull request.
Okay, yeah, I see. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a good discussion. So do you have any other question, Igor? That anything else you wanted to know?
No, just the presence of the secret. If it is present, that it shouldn't be any other problems.
Yeah, you should expect to be there. Otherwise, you show a warning saying it's not there, so the plugin will not work.
Yeah, I understand.
So just to clarify, we are not going to provide another way to add that token. We just only expected that Che was deployed with pre-configured token, and that's it.
Yes, okay. So we show a warning if it's not, with some instructions, and the instructions should always. So that means that if the secret is not there, I follow the instruction. I create the secret. I put the token inside the secret. At that point, my workspace should work. So I expect the GitHub pull request extension to work, right? So, or if you need another manual step, like the user need to restart the workspace, I hope not. I hope that the user should not need to restart the workspace. But if it needed, we need to provide that in the instruction, in the documentation. You need also to restart the workspace. But yeah, I don't want to have like another old flow from within TIA, because that is, so we had one, and honestly it was really hard to make it work. We have a few issues with that, so I don't think it's really worth to continue iterating with fixing that. I would like to just for now have the mechanism of the secret, so no auth flow from TIA.
Sorry, Mario. One thing just to clarify: this this secret gets taken from the OAuth flow with help of the chess server, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just so the mechanism just moves. Shall we still use the chess server API, but not from editor, but just from dashboard?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ilya. Thank you, everyone. I think, do we have anything to discuss today? Maybe some questions?
I wanted just to mention that so I think that there is nobody else but only people from Red Hat here. So I think it's worth mentioning that we had a discussion earlier today about Code-Ready Workspaces 2.15 and the switch to the dev workspace, and it looks like it's there is a request to actually postpone the switch to 2.16. So to continue having like two different channels in Code-Ready Workspace 2.15, with one that is using the chess server, and the other channel using the experimental channel, still using the dev workspace. This is due to some problems with the support of the 3.11, because once we switch to the dev workspace, we won't be able to support 3.11. So we want to support 3.11 for a few months still, and that allows us to continue supporting it. So I think that's the main reason. And then there are other concerns about being able to migrate automatically the workspaces. So once we definitely do the switch. So I think that QE and documentation also were happy to postpone it because they were not able to actually test and document a lot the 2.15 yet, so the dev workspace enable. So if they had a few more 6 weeks more, I think that they were happy about it. So taking into account all those things, the result is that Code-Ready Workspace 2.15 will still have chess server workspaces by default.
Mario, and for upstream, nothing changes, right? So 7.42 is the first release with dev workspace enabled by default.
Correct, exactly. Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you, everyone. I think we can wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for taking notes. And thank you, everyone. See you next Monday. See you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.